What is up, everybody? Just a real quick update. In my Figma Link Between Worlds review, I mentioned that I potentially want to get rid of this standard link Figma because I really have no need for it. And I've been looking around at ideas how I would go about that. And honestly, I think I've been making it more difficult than it needs to be. I think I'm just going to go over the route of Scott from Video Game Stellar, how he does giveaways, which is pretty simplistic. However, I have personal things that I need to sort out in real life. I obviously don't want to get into it, but so anything revolving around giveaways is going to be on the back burner for now. Please understand, I got personal issues I got to sort out. However, not only do I want to get rid of this guy, but I have these. This is a small sample. There's more in the back over there. Are figures that I no longer want, and I'd like to get rid of in the form of a giveaway. And I have two Nendoroid Kirby's here for some reason. Well, no, there's a reason behind it, but it's a stupid reason, and I wish I could make the excuse that I was drinking and I purchased these guys, but no, I don't drink alcohol. This was just a dumb purchase on my end, because I already have an Android Kirby right up there, and I got two others for a certain reason. I don't want to get into it. It's a dumb reason, but I have two, and I don't want it. This is completely a mistake. This is the worst purchase on my end of the year, but I have other stuff back there, and for some reason, I also have two Figma Samuses. This is boxed, by the way. They even have that wrapping paper that's wrapped around them before you get them. So there's three Figma Samuses that I have boxed for some reason, and I could be the sleazeball and sell these things on eBay for twice the price, but I don't want to do that because that's not me. And I potentially like to get rid of these in a form of a giveaway in the future, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks until I sort things out. But that's all I wanted to get on that. Please stay tuned. Further updates on this because I have no form of social media, so I guess this channel is the only place you're going to find that. Anyways, let's get on to the review. Let's transition. Hey, how's it going, fellow Trojans and loyal vassals? Today is a beautiful day. Well, technically, it's already 5 p.m. on a lovely Saturday, but that's besides the point. I'm going to show you another, in my opinion, a very underappreciated Reveltech or Vulcanlog figure that was released about a month ago, and it's kind of a shame, and I kind of feel bad for it because it's from a series that I've never heard of, nor do I have any passion to read it, because I read a quick synopsis on, he's from a manga, I believe. Something around, like, even the synopsis didn't really get me to want to read it. Something about a baseball player, the main character, this guy, who uses, I guess, analytics to win at baseball or something like that, where he just wants nothing to win. The synopsis didn't really it just didn't drive me to go read the manga. So there's that, and the figure himself, I think, is absolutely badass. That's the only word I can think of. This guy looks so cool. Like, I can't describe it. When I saw this guy, the pre-orders went up for this guy, I knew I had to have it because this guy is just so... Look at this guy, he's just so cool. You can't tell me this is not a cool looking character. Because he's probably, even for a Reveltech, this is probably the most distinct looking character in terms of proportions. I've never seen a character molded in such a way. Like, he looks like he would be fat, but he's very thin from the front. You see that? So it's just a very distinct looking appearance to him that I absolutely love about, and it definitely helps that you can have him with the glaring glasses look. This is actually the default glasses he comes with, where they're clear and you can clearly see the face. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself in the accessories here, but this is just the standard the glasses, because you can actually remove them and have either clear or glaring, and in my opinion the glaring face looks the glaring glasses look way cooler, and it's a shame that this figure didn't. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I'm probably the only person, as far as I know, last I checked, there's no reviews for this figure at all. That's how much nobody cares for this guy, and it's a shame too, because I went to check the pricing, because I paid full price for this figure, which was like 50 or 60. It's a bit much, but I really like this guy, and like, it just looks so cool. Because the last time I checked, instead of the price for this figure dropped dramatically from like around 50 to 60 to now like 30. And that's pretty crazy, and it's very sad. It just makes me feel sad. This figure got underappreciated. I mean, it also, I forgot to mention, it also did not help that aside from this, there's actually 3 other variants of this exact same figure. It's like the same articulation. The only difference is that he actually has a different team uniform on. This is I'm not sure if these are actually based off real Japanese baseball teams. This is Bunkyo, but he has 3 other outfits that all look different. I wanted to go with the white version. This is actually gray. There was actually a white one with a different team name that I thought looked way cooler, only because white would have looked way better, and I might end up getting it. The 2 other variants are from 2 other teams, and it has more of a blue and the white motif going on, and he actually has a facial hair in those other 2. So it didn't really help that there was a total of 4 variants, all costing around $60 of this figure. A character that most likely nobody knows of, or from a series, it's not really that popular. So this was, I guess, bound to just, what's the word, disappear from the radar for most figure collectors, I guess. Personally, I think he is absolutely badass. I already mentioned that he's just so cool. I can't describe it. Just the whole appearance of him having an articulated baseball figure. Like, not knowing the actual main character, I can just build my own imaginary story on this guy. And I would imagine a badass baseball wielding dude. I don't know. My imaginary is a bit slim here, but he just looks so cool. I guess the only thing for most people that might turn them off is the whole shoulder, the way it's molded. It is very a distinct look, and this definitely seems to be the whole new trend with the Revoltech figures under this new brand Vulcanlog, where they are sculpted in a way like where they have this is actually double jointed shoulders, you can see right there, and it's done in a way that looks very weird. Like, you see that? It's just very bizarre, but it works because you're able to get his shoulder piece across his chest like so, and you can just see that. Look how impressive that is. That's like, it's definitely gonna be one of those things if you're taking photos of this guy where you have to get him in the right angle to make it look good, because if you go like that, it's gonna look grotesque seeing that joint, and it looks almost like he has a disjointed shoulder. No, that's exactly what that is. I don't know what I'm saying, but there's that. It's something you're gonna have to get used to with these new Revoltech. Like, you can move right here at the shoulder, move right here at the inside of the shoulder. I mean, the base of the body, because it's the shoulder. You can get him shrugging. It's very weird. Again, you have to play with the actual joint to make it look good in certain angles. He has a I thought this was gonna be like a ball joint. Well, actually, I didn't like. This is kind of weird because it's like this piece is actually a separate piece. This actual sleeve is separate, and I thought that was kind of weird. I don't think it would have been necessary, but I guess it's meant to act like a, like if the actual shoulder piece was actually molded onto this his actual arm here, it would have been more straight. But because it's kind of like at an angle, like, it's hard to explain. But because of that, you're able to get his shoulder a little bit more crunched. Like almost as if it was double jointed, but not really. It's very interesting. You can move it side to side. There's that. At the wrist, he has a single jointed They're not technically Revoltech joints, but it is something I guess I should mention. There's that. These gloves are actually his baseball gloves, because there's a peg in here for you, or I mean a hole in there for you to put the baseball bat through. So these aren't his default hands. He has only a single joint, but the way this is sculpted, which, by the way, this is a joint project, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2 people worked on it. I know one of them is Yamaguchi. I mentioned that. If you don't know who Yamaguchi is, he is I'd say the head honcho. I like to call him the head honcho of the Revoltech articulation department and sculpting and whatnot. And he had a hand in sculpting this figure along with another person. Unfortunately, I cannot remember his name, but it has a very distinct, like, I don't know, maybe I can show you. This might look a little scary looking, but so this is pretty much the only joint he has. A single Revoltech joint at the body, and the way it's done is actually at an angle. You can kind of see the base here, the upper body. It's like at an angle. See, this is straight, and it's supposed to peg inwards at an angle. Because of that, he can get a pretty impressive crunch. And because it is at an angle, you can actually move it side to side and get him doing like stretching kind of poses. See if I can kind of show you. So see stuff like that. So it makes it like, if you want to get those pitcher throws and whatnot, actual baseball players, you can get it impressive stuff. Here's the crunch. It only looks a little weird because of this thing kind of sticking out, but aside from that, it's very impressive. You can't really arch his back at all because of the way this piece is molded, so no arches from him. At the head, he has a double jointed, or at the neck actually I should say. It's double jointed. I don't know if I can kind of show you. Right about there, you can kind of see the joint is actually pegged into his head, and again, it's at an angle. You can't really see it per se, but it is, trust me, at an angle inwards to his hair. Because of that, he can look slightly more down than usual. That's pretty much as far as you can go. Not too much highness because of the hairpiece right here. Still pretty impressive stuff. At the legs, he has not ball joints, much like the previous Iron Man figure, but single jointed Revoltech joints, which you can get them out quite a bit. And they're the kind where you kind of have to play with them in order to get them in the right position. So they're not ball joints, obviously. So you gotta have to trying to get used to it. It's a little difficult, especially with Revoltechs. Single jointed knee. And probably the only distinct, unique feature about this figure, something I've never seen, aside from the Figma Link Between Worlds Figma, is that his actual foot. Wait. I can't really. Okay, so it's kind of like a Figma joint where there's a ball joint. I believe I'm correct. So apparently there's a ball joint, an actual ball joint in the foot, and it's pegged into the ankle, and that's just bizarre for a Revoltech. This isn't new to me because I've seen it in the Figma Link Between Worlds. So that's not, nothing too crazy. But for Revoltech, this is actually pretty interesting. Also, a very distinct looking foot because it's very flat. It makes it actually very difficult for him to actually stand on his own. Well, now that I say that, he does it perfectly. But before, when I was trying to do it off camera, he would not stand for the frame. Moving on to the accessories, he comes with these two open palmed hands. Simple stuff, nothing too fancy. One glove or mitt. I should probably also mention I'm not a baseball or sports fan in general fanatic, so I don't know the proper terms. Like for this, a mitt, catcher's mitt, is that what it's called? Catcher's mitt, nicely detailed. He came with two sets of hands for throwing balls, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the actual throwing hand, right? That's the throwing position to throw a baseball, and this is his catching hand. Or holding a base, just typical holding it. You can actually remove this baseball, by the way. See? That's pretty cool. So there's that. And two closed fists, much like his regular, or his glove hands over there. But these are just bare, with no peg hole. This little magazine cover, which I have no idea what this is. Maybe it's like I don't know. There's no text or anything in it. An accessory I can only assume is for the character himself. And the secondary face, which you already saw, which is slightly different than his default face. He is having slightly more of a grim, what would that, frown? That's the word. Frown in this one. His actual face that he's actually making under here, he's actually looking off to the side, which I don't really like. Like, I like the expression he's making. I just don't like the fact that his eyes are actually looking off to the side. See if I can show you. There you go. This is what he looks like underneath. He's looking off to the side, and I don't like that, so that's why the primary reason why I decided to have him with the glared look. That, and it looks badass. Put that back in here. So there's that. And finally, the thing that I think is pretty cool is his baseball bat, which is nothing too crazy, but I think it's pretty cool. Especially if you just want to have other figures holding it. Like if you saw my Figma TED review, in one of the slideshows at the end, he's actually holding the baseball perfectly in his hands, and it actually looks pretty legit. You actually have to separate it from here. Be careful of this. This is very thin. You don't want to apply too much force and then go like snap it, and then you're gonna have to, I guess, super glue it. But it makes it easier to put it into his gloves, like so. All in all, I think this guy is really cool. It's not like you have to know the character. I think it's just pretty cool having like a baseball, like a badass wielding, a baseball wielding baseball player, like going around. I don't know. He's just so cool. I can't describe it. It's one of the, you ever have one of those figures where you just look at and you can't describe it? Just this guy screams cool. I can't describe it, but it just looks so cool. That's what this guy is to me. Badass. Also, finally, this Reveltech stand. Not my favorite stand, but it works. Let's go get you into some fancy looking poses, or I guess baseball poses. What say you? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention his name is Bonda Natsunosuke, I believe. Cool name. Let's see the slideshows.